Hi everyone, thank you for visiting my channel. I am Mutia and I will be sharing with you today my journey of leaving wedding photography to joining Big Four Consulting in Singapore. I wanted to share that back in 2015 to 2019, I was editing wedding photographs that I shot in Jakarta until 3 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes I didn't even sleep just to make sure that I am producing quality products and quality visual and photos for my clients. And now I am currently servicing the biggest insurance company in Asia as their sustainability consultant, making sure that they are compliant towards sustainability related rules in Hong Kong. So, this is a story of how I went from being a creative, building creative identity, as well as having the creative burnout, to sustainability consulting at a big four firm before my current positions, and what I learned about reinvention along the way. I never planned to be a wedding photographer. I actually applied to the job after I studied international relations and political science back in the 2011, and then a very luxurious wedding photography agency with the creative director who shot a lot of fashion photography for bazaar, cosmopolitans, and the likes. I applied to become their photo editor, and I make sure that I gain the skills of photo editing that time. So that was the first time I was really exposed to how luxurious can wedding industry be, depends on your market positioning. I also wanted to, genuinely enjoy the creative industry that time. I wanted to create in visuals that depict intimacy, real emotion and authenticities, as well as some backgrounds that are, very beautiful. As I come from Indonesia, there are a lot of places that are very scenic, and I like to travel, and that's why I was drawn to wedding photography. So I picked up the camera, I quit that photo editing job, and then I was building my own business. So in these programs, I gave myself deadline to make sure that I built my business mode. I also make sure that I made business systems, making learning about the market, learning about how to price my craft, and I wanted to make sure that I met the right people along the way that can amplify the services that I offered to the market, and then meet the customers directly. So in that time, the 2015, it taught me early about what entrepreneurship is and what being a traditional founder is, by making something out of zero to one. And this is why I chose that path as a founder over the traditional careers where I needed to climb the corporate ladders, for example. The takeaway here is that starting definitely will be the hardest, but you bet on yourself, and then it is the most powerful step of all. So the next one is that, after my business a little bit, picked up in the market, I have generated enough income for the business. I could actually hire my first employee as wedding video editor, and then hire a photo editor, and then hire administrative editors, and working with a lot of contractors in the market. I think I no longer take pictures that time. Back in 2015 to 2019, I actually already, tried to scale my business, implemented booking systems, and then making client communication smooth, and then making sure that editing workflows are smooth as well. So I, in that time, was prioritizing creating a brand and mode that is, being genuinely remembered in the market. I make sure that I differentiated myself as a wedding photographer. I created and crafted my own style, my experience and personal touch in my interactions with the clients, and I am grateful from learning with a lot of experts that sometimes I joined workshops or master classes, as far as going to Melbourne from Jakarta just to make sure I attended these master classes. make sure that I can join the ones in Singapore, make sure that I could join the ones in Japan and Bali, etc. So a lot of masters that are giving me a lot of these tips. And today there are chat gpts, so it doesn't it's easier to start a business today compared to the past, where you have to invest. I invested more than 30, 3 5,000, almost 7,000 Singapore dollars for this, meeting the master class and getting their actually roadmap on how to do business, right? I I was that time I was very very proud as a creative person with identity and as a business owner as well. And to be honest, my income in I am from Indonesia and we have rupiah as a currency. Actually, I made more per hour than when I am in corporate ladder in Singapore with dollars. It's very ironic, but entrepreneurship can give you that much of leeway and freedom in determining how much income would you like to get. So the takeaway here is that I acted as a product manager, business owner and founder is a product manager, because I built the value, the brand, as well as the processes. And then there comes a time where I actually experiencing creative burnout, creatively, mentally, financially as well, and ran for the office and ran for my place. I still do. And I wanted to, burnout is very very severe, that I think that I wouldn't want to take more clients, because it means that it's not about that I couldn't give my best, but burnout makes me think that I do not as satisfied in creating that in completing the processes as I was before. The burnout makes me very much numb towards my creative business, and creative business is supposed to be very rewarding emotionally, right? So that was, as creative and business owner, burnout could happen as well as the corporates. But I would say that that time burnt out give me a perspective and options on what to do next. So I realized that I was working in my business that time, and I wasn't really working for my future. And I actually, in the period of burnout, I really consulted my friends, close friends, and then gurus and experts as well. I think I wanted to get go back to school. So I studied international relations and I wanted to get to a business school. So at the end, I really made it happen. I think I joined a really prestigious university in Singapore and being MBA and graduated from MBA back in 2020. And from there, I wanted to tell you that burnout is never a failure. It is often your future self calling you calling you to reflect on what you want to do next. So after I graduated from MBA in Singapore, I actually go into a new industry and a new type of job, which is the traditional career path corporate job. It is a very total reset, and I was also an immigrant coming from Jakarta, and then I went to Singapore as a student, having the student passes. Having the next one is actually I got a job in Singapore to become a sustainability business analyst, and I work with these companies, agencies that are having operations in Singapore but actually incorporate in the UK, London. And I get to advise a lot of FTSE 100 companies, as well as the STI, which is the capital markets top 30s big cap corporations in terms of sustainability. So I adapted to this structured role, and the structured role enables me to learn more about the capital markets, sustainabilities, compliance, risk, and the likes. And it's a very biggest culture shock, but of course it's a rewarding experience for me, because turns out the creative in me liked this space as a sustainability consultant, and there are a lot of learning moments. So the takeaway here is that I reinvented myself from wedding photographer to become a sustainability consultant. And there are a lot of moments that it requires humility. It means that I did not come from, associate level. I did not come from accounting bachelor degree that are straight going to the big four and build their career there. I was actually from a traditional non-traditional career path as a wedding photographer and ended up in big four consultant in one of the biggest firm in Singapore. But I brought my strengths, I brought my adaptability, and the gauntlet that I ready to learn to the new rules. So why I joined Big Four? It is actually I wanted to join Big Four because I wanted to learn about the machines and how big businesses actually work. So strategic decision is actually the brand itself as Big Four, the business acumen that I can get from this organizational setting, as well as the exposures towards a lot of corporate functions such as HR, compliance, risk, operation, digital, and the likes. So I think my creative background from wedding photography and building my own creative identity in the past, and I wanted to say that there are a lot of storytelling requirements needed in Big Four, and in how visual thinking is actually appreciated. You can tell that Big Four consultants are actually making pretty decks, and people are kind of like a little bit sour about it, but I was like very excited about having the task to complete, visualizing processes in this boring PowerPoint to become better. So I really like that. And I really do not abandon my creativity by joining Big Four, and then I just applying it differently. So the takeaway is it is the best career zigzag. There are structured executions and creative insights. It is a killer combo for me. So there is what's next. I'm still figuring it out, but here's what I know. Creativity, resilience, and strategy are not separate careers. They are chapters of the same story. So if 3 bullets I can give to you is that build your identity before chasing any status at all. And number 2, burnout can be a very pivotal point. And number 3, reinvention is a long-term asset. And if you're creative, thinking of pivoting, or an immigrant navigating a career switch in different countries, drop a comment and let's talk. In my next video, I'll share how I use this creative thinking in corporate settings and lessons straight from the studio to the boardroom. Thank you. Thank you for